you. Thank you all. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Julian, for that warm welcome. I am so glad to be here, although I hear yesterday was really the day that you all had literally living history in the room celebrating here with you. This is a conference and a day about strengthening communities, and I want to take just a few minutes and talk about some of the recent tragic events in some of our communities involving police shootings, which affect us all. I strongly condemn these recent and brutal police shootings in Texas and in Illinois. We have had 4 more guardians slain, and frankly, our hearts are broken over this. I offer the families of these officers my condolences, and I ask that all of us come together and keep them in our prayers. Now, as many of you know, I have spent virtually my entire career working closely with state, local, and federal law enforcement officers, and I know that these men and women have volunteered to take on the most challenging, dangerous, and important jobs that we have here. Then they do this for us. They move us aside, and they run into danger for us. And so please, again, keep them in your prayers. The President noted in his statement yesterday, the targeting of police officers is totally unacceptable, and we will continue to stand up for the safety of our officers wherever they serve. But I also just want to add that the many shootings that we have seen around the country in recent months are all particularly troubling. We have seen violence strike at all segments of our community. It is a sad fact now that no one is safe. We've seen these brutal police killings. We've seen the particularly violent shootings of 2 Virginia reporters killed on air last week. Last month, members of our military targeted in Tennessee, moviegoers in Louisiana, and of course in June, church parishioners in Charleston. And of course, many of our cities are seeing an increase in violence that we're looking at very closely. This violence against all of us, regardless of what uniform any of us wear, has to end. Our dialogue has to be focused on the preventing violent crime as it touches all of us. And that is what the Justice Department's Violence Reduction Network will address at its summit in Detroit later this month. We'll be convening a meeting with law enforcement officers from around the country to discuss, along with representatives from DOJ, to discuss these strategies to end this uptick in violent crime and to help prevent this from occurring. This is just one of a number of efforts that we are taking to reduce violent crime. We take this very seriously. And again, I just want to say that the Department of Justice stands ready to support law enforcement around this country as they continue to fight every day to protect the communities that they serve and of which they are a vital part. And we also stand with every community member, police and civilian alike, as they all work towards a safer community for us all. Because, of course, strengthening communities, which requires all of our commitment across the administration and, frankly, across this country, is really the focus of this conference and the focus of today's events. I know you've spent a lot of time not just talking about this issue, but working in the trenches on this issue. Your leader, Julian Castro, you could not have a finer person to lead this agency with the challenges facing Americans today. And Julian, I want to thank you for your leadership, not just of HUD, but on these issues, for being a voice for people who don't have a voice in this administration. People throughout this country know that they have someone in you who hears them and who understands their concerns and brings it to Washington, which is frankly what we're all trying to do.